What is going on, all of you puzzle and roguelike fans out there in the world? I am Mega Amster. Thank you for watching this review video, whether you are a new or returning viewer. I appreciate you stopping by, and I know I'm a couple months late to the game, pun intended, as this game, Blueprints, from the publisher Raw Fury and the developer Dogu Bomb, I think is how you pronounce it. This game came out a couple months ago. As of this upload, I'm well aware of that. But I played through it recently and I got to a point where I feel like, I may not be fully done with my time necessarily, but at least to a good point where I can put my thoughts into a video. So here we are. This is my review of Blueprints. This is definitely a game that you really want your own sense of discoverability. So I'm literally leaving it for this part with the little to no spoilers part with what we have here in the trailer. A lot of this won't even make sense until you play the game anyways, but please do not watch the spoiler part. I will mark it clearly and mention it. Please do not go to that section if you're planning on playing this game and haven't yet. Let's just focus on the little to no spoilers for this part, and then we'll go there later. Yeah, so basically the premise of this game, I've heard the basic gameplay compared, if it's, in terms of it being an adventure game, compared to something like Myst. However, you also have roguelike elements in this game, and the way this works is essentially, just to give you the premise of the overall game, you are playing as, I think it's the grandnephew of someone who passed away, your great uncle, who had this massive, massive mansion, and you are his heir, but the only way you can inherit the mansion is if you find the secret room 46. Now, your great uncle loves puzzles, so of course there's going to be puzzles galore in this mansion. And the way it kind of works in terms of course, it's an adventure game, so you're exploring, you're finding clues. It's one of these games where you are writing down almost everything you notice and every little detail that you see. But the roguelike element comes into play where, kind of like if you've ever played the tabletop game Betrayal at the House on the Hill, it's not like in terms of like the social elements, those are not here, but what is like the placement of rooms. So every time you encounter a doorway like you're seeing here, you get 3 random rooms that you can then place next to that adjacent doorway. And so you're essentially building your way through this mansion, and the roguelike elements come in where it's kind of random every door you go to, but there are ways to influence those odds to meet your favor in terms of what room specifically you want to draft. And so ultimately you're trying to find room 46. Each run in this game is essentially a different day, and each day you start off with 50 steps each day to be able to explore. So every time you walk through a doorway, you use up 1 step. Now, like I said, I want to keep this as baseline as possible because this is a game that you really want to play yourself and experience. But there are different tools and different items you can get along the way to be able to make it through this mansion. Some rooms have special conditions. There's like different types of rooms. There's like hallways, there's bedrooms. There's this blue rooms are kind of like the generic ones, but you have like red ones, special conditions, green ones as well. I won't say what all of those do. But depending on what rooms you draft, you're going to have different, things affect your gameplay per day. And kind of the strategy comes down to choosing which rooms based on your current like kit, what tools you have, what you're kind of prioritizing. The way I like to play when I play this game, I like to play where every day I have like one main objective. And if there's a couple other objectives based on clues that I found that are like, oh, this clue connects to this room, I'll keep that in my head as I'm building this out. And if I happen to come across it and draft the right rooms for the day, then I'll do it. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting strategy to keep in mind when you're doing that. But ultimately, yes, you're trying to find room 46 in order to get to the ending of the game, I will say, which is where I left off for this review. I got to the ending that the game directs you to, and I found room 46. And that's where I left off for this review, but I have a lot of other notes that I will go to in the spoiler section if you want to deep dive there. Like I said, avoid that section if you haven't played this game and are planning on playing this game at all. Like, even like, not like a little unsure, like maybe I will. Do not watch that part of the video. For now, we're still in the light to no spoilers. In terms of the art style, this game looks it looks great. I love how this game looks. It's kind of like a hand-drawn, cel-shaded art style. You can see from the trailer here. Looks really, really good in terms of the visual style there. I love when games have this just stylized look to it, and this is no exception. In terms of graphical fidelity, like, you're not playing a game like this for that. You know what I mean? You're playing this game for the puzzles, for the roguelike elements, and for the artistic style is really really good. The music as you're listening to here is pretty subtle. It's good, but it's very subtle. You know, it's not. It's meant to be atmospheric. It's not meant to be anything that's in your face, but it works very well for a game like this. So let's go into my overall thoughts on the game itself. People are raving about this game, right? People have been calling this the Balatro of 2025. A lot of people are saying this is their game of the year so far of this year, and I'm of two minds on it. I really like the puzzles in this game. If any of you watched my review video on Tunic last year, I really enjoyed the puzzles that game had to offer. And there are a lot of puzzles in this game, many of which are optional, but they're really fun. If you're taking notes and you're kind of coming across these puzzles, it's great to be like, oh, like this, I remember this puzzle that was in this room, but it's a piece of this puzzle in this room to the puzzle in the other room, and it all like connects together. And it's really fun to figure out those solutions. I will be honest with you, there were a few that I did look up a guide to just nudge me in the right direction. I did do that a little bit. So some of them are definitely very tricky, but with enough patience and with enough discoverability and with the right tools, you can come across the solutions to those puzzles. And I emphasize the right tools because I really like the puzzles in the game, but honestly, and this would completely break the game, I know, I think I would have preferred if this game was not a roguelike. I think I would have preferred if this was just, I don't know how, they would have had to completely redesign it. Like I said, this game is designed to be a roguelike where the puzzles that you come across, the tools you use, it's all dependent on what you draft, right? Like that's the point. Like this game expects you to not be able to get every single puzzle on day one or all in one day. It's like piecemeal. And so it kind of adds to the replayability, which I get. However, if you're not a fan of roguelikes, this game can be very frustrating. I enjoy roguelikes to some degree. It really definitely depends. But for example, like on one hand, I really like Vampire Survivors. Love Vampire Survivors. That game is just so easy for me to get into. And I think what I love about that game being a roguelite, kind of with roguelike elements, I should say, is that it's like the basic gameplay loop is so basic. And so when you have a main part of it being the roguelike elements, like I think it works really well. Whereas this game, I love to solve the puzzles, and I love puzzles in general. I'm a very puzzle loving person, I guess. It's a weird way to put it. I got very frustrated with a lot of moments in this game because I knew what I needed and I just didn't get the right thing that day. It was honestly demoralizing, and that's where the roguelike elements really halt that sort of rewarding feeling for me. And you could argue the complete opposite. It definitely is a case-by-case basis for if you like these elements or not. Because you could totally argue, oh, by having the roguelike elements, it makes you want to come back every day for more. I totally get that. Just for me, I didn't love it. It really felt like a bit of a blocker to me in terms of wanting to solve puzzles and just not having the right day for it. And when it worked out, when I got the perfect day that everything aligned for me to get to it, it felt more like relief rather than excitement. And I think that's why I'm not as in love with this game as a lot of people are, because the roguelike elements to me almost hinder that puzzle experience. For me personally, that's a very personal take, and I know that's a hot take, but I think I would have preferred if somehow this game didn't, like I said, it would have to be completely different, but it's just not getting the right room on the right day or not having the right tool. It's awful. It's such a demoralizing feeling, and I hated it because I'm like, I want to solve this puzzle because I love the puzzles. And it's just, the roguelike elements just got in the way for me. There were so many moments. And there was also a couple times, so I was playing this on Steam Deck, I should have mentioned that earlier, where I guess it's been a common complaint that the text has been really small. I didn't run into that personally, but I could definitely see. I mean, I have pretty good eyesight, so I'm not really one to be able to fully say if it's too small or not. My issue was my game actually crashed a couple different times, and I think it's mainly just due to I would try to play in handheld and then connect it to the dock, and sometimes the Steam Deck is a little finicky with the dock, and it crashed on a couple times. And there was one day in particular that I made really good progress, and I was pissed because it crashed on me. And it took another like 5 days after that for me to get the right combo again. And runs in this game are long. They are long runs. Especially when you accrue more steps, when you get the right tools, they can go on forever, which is great, but there's also no way to suspend your run without putting your console or your Steam Deck or your PC in sleep mode. Like there's no other way to suspend runs, and I think that's a massive accessibility issue. I get it was probably a design intention from the developer, but I'm sorry, like that definitely sets you back a lot. Um, at least from what I could tell, there was no way to suspend runs. Let me know if there is in the comments below. But that should have totally been a thing. Because these runs are long. Like these runs would take me, honestly, like every run every day in this game would take me at least an hour and a half. Unless it was a really shitty day, which I didn't have a lot of really bad days. There may be one or two. Um, but it's just, yeah, the runs are very long. They're too long for there not to be a suspend point. So I hope there is, and I missed it, but I don't know. That was kind of a big stickler for me. But that's the thing with roguelike games. You know what I mean? Is like the idea of like needing to get the right items, the right tools, and everything in order to make it work out. And I get that you can influence those odds. There are a lot of ways to influence those odds as you go through this game. But in order to influence those odds, you have to compete with RNG in the beginning. Like no matter what, the elements of this game rely on RNG. Like that is at this game's core. And so if this were to be like a standard adventure game without roguelike elements, it'd have to be completely different. And you know, a lot of people probably wouldn't think it'd be as good. You know, I do think there is an element to with the roguelike mechanics that do add some sort of rewarding feeling when you get the right setup. But that's the problem for me, is I think I like the puzzles so much where I think I would have just preferred this to be an adventure game. So I think like a game like Myst, from what I hear, would be right up my alley in that case, right? Because those games, from what I understand, don't have roguelike elements, although I could be wrong. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong there. But I think I really liked the puzzles a lot. Like the puzzles in this game were great. Taking down notes. I took a lot of different notes, but it's just the roguelike elements to me made this frustrating. And that is why I don't love the game, but I did enjoy my experience. Like the secrets in this game and being able to connect the dots from like days that are super separated apart, different puzzles in different parts of the room were so satisfying. They're so rewarding. I'll get into which specific puzzles in the spoiler part, but I really did like the puzzles in this game. So I don't want to make it sound like I did not like this game. It's just I think the roguelike elements for me, there were a lot of moments that soured my experience a little bit because of the fact that just the RNG gods did not appease me that day. You know what I mean? They just didn't. You know, that's what it really comes down to. There's a lot of cool tools. I really won't say much. There's a lot of cool stuff in terms of items you can get. A lot of the roguelike elements too. You kind of probably can see here without going into too much detail. You can collect keys that can unlock certain rooms. And other items like gems that will allow you to draft certain rooms. And it was always so frustrating when I had rooms that were great that I would love to be able to draft, and I just couldn't. And it just felt so deflating because it wasn't necessarily likely that I could show up the next day for me. You know what I mean? And as you play more, it gets easier. But that initial hump of getting over that RNG and like getting the right setup to make it fit your situation, it's a lot. So if you don't like roguelike games, I honestly do not think you will like this game. Like I really don't think you will, because it's tough. It's frustrating. I personally found it frustrating, and I like some roguelike games. Like Vampire Survivors, like I mentioned. The opposite end of the spectrum for me would be Binding of Isaac, but that game is also brutally difficult, and I think that's why I don't like it as much. This game, this is not a difficult game. I feel like it's hard to judge the difficulty of this game. It really comes down to the puzzle-solving ability. Just write everything down. If you're going to play this game, write everything down. Like, I was writing even too much, but too much is better than too little. Because, you know, that's what's masterfully crafted about this game, is every detail seems to matter, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, just to wrap up this little to no spoilers section, I liked the game. I'm not as crazy about it as a lot of like review outlets and other people seem to be, because mainly of those roguelike elements just honestly making it frustrating for me sometimes, and just like making me want to not even see the credits. But I did, and I pushed through, and there's still plenty of the game left for me to discover. Like, even once you get to credits, it's kind of like Monster Hunter from what I've heard. There's plenty more game and plenty more puzzles to explore and solve after that. But I did really like my experience. I love the aesthetic. I love the atmosphere. And like I said, I genuinely loved. There were a few specific puzzles that I really loved in this game, and a lot of them I did just enjoy overall. But those roguelike elements, I did not love, and I think that hindered my enjoyment of it just a little bit. But I still really like it overall, and I would give it a recommendation. It's an indie game, of course. It's like, what, I think $30 regular price. So it's not like super expensive, but it's a well-crafted game, a well-crafted experience with a lot of mystery and a lot of great puzzles that if you like roguelike games, I think you will really enjoy. If you don't like roguelike elements in games, maybe be a little wary of it. Maybe still check it out, but maybe be a little wary of it. So that's going to do it for the little to no spoilers section of this review. I'm about to go into full-on spoilers from what I know so far. So please, like I said, do not watch this part if you are at all considering playing this game. And I'm going to switch over to my actual save file here. I'm going to give you a few seconds to click away if you do not want to be spoiled at all in this game. Like I said, if you haven't played it, considering playing it, would not recommend watching this part. I'll give you a few seconds to click away. Okay, I'm going to bring up my save file here, and we're going to go into that a little bit. So, there we go. Let me actually boot it up quickly. Yeah, so I'm trying to think about, oh, there we go, how many days it took me to do this. I want to say it was like 20, 26, 27, maybe. I feel like it took me quite a few days to see the credits of this game. Like I said, I have not fully finished all the puzzles. There's still plenty to do after I roll credits, but I honestly don't know. I feel kind of satisfied with where I'm at. Like, I honestly feel like I may not see through fully to the end. I don't know, but maybe I'll play it in my spare time. But there's so many other games to play this year that I want to get to, and now with the Switch 2 coming out that I'm probably not going to continue too much more on. But yeah, in terms of I want to call it the puzzles that I really did like in this game, the ones that I kind of hinted at during the non-spoiler section of this review. Okay, so day 28. Okay, so day 27 was when I rolled credits. So it's quite a few days. Let me actually, well, I guess, yeah, let me know in the comments below. Keep it spoiler free if you can. Just let me know the day number that you rolled credits if you did. I really liked the drawing puzzle with the drawings in each room. That was really cool. And like early on, it's funny because shout out to Chase. He was playing this game like way before me. I didn't play this at launch because I was playing Star Overdrive, and that launched on the same day as Blueprints when it did. But oh, the music is way different. Weird. But yeah, so that was one that I got early on, and he was like, "Oh, like you're onto something there." Of course, he didn't give me any spoilers, which I was much appreciated. I got so many steps now, jeez. Oh, I still have one of the blessings of the chef. Nice. But the drawing one was just something I found really early on. Thank you. I got my allowance there. I got all the permanent editions there, which is great. I'm trying to think if any of those are required. I don't know. I have 4 red letters, so I'm going to say there. I'm missing some of those. But yeah, I don't know. Like I love the vibe of this game, and it was addicting, I will say, but there were moments with the roguelike elements that just honestly made me want to stop and not continue. And that's not the best feeling. Like, that's why I'm considering not even really seeing the other puzzles through. Like, I kind of want to, but at the same time, I'd rather play other games now because I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm at a good point where maybe I could pick this up later this year and try to fully see it through and really give my thoughts there. Oh. Okay. Cool. Interesting. All right. So there's like different achievements you unlock at the end of the game. I love that. Yeah, I really like this game overall. Oh, cool. I love that. The Event of Inheritance. But yeah, like the puzzles were really good. The drawing room puzzle I really liked. I still haven't figured out the chess puzzle, but I'm liking that. There's something to that. I'm trying to figure that out on my own. And I'm trying to, let me look through my notes here. I've got a bunch of different notes here. Discovering stuff like the workshop on my own is really cool. There's still the thing with the boiler room patterns that I don't know. There's something with those tiles in the boiler room. Like I said, please keep the comments spoiler free, especially for people who are watching this review who have not played it. I was tracking the stones in the workshop for a while with like the carved letters, but I was like, wait, this is literally the same message. And I was like, whoop. I don't know what the hands do yet. The hand statues, I kind of noted those. Yeah, I have notes upon notes here. Pretty much just like categorized by each room. I still never did the car keys. I didn't do that. There's a couple like combinations of numbers that I still don't know what those do. Um, oh, I didn't do the aquarium puzzle thing. There's that. There's the vault I didn't do. Any of the stuff with the what is it called? The I think it was the Black Bridge Grotto with like the microchips. I have no idea what those do. So there's, like I said, there's still a ton I haven't done yet. I think I finished the lab. I didn't do the freezer. And I'm trying to think. I think the only time I ever got into the antechamber was the secret garden. I don't think. No, that's a lie. But that was like the most common one for me. That just really came in handy. I just happened to get the right key and be able to go in there. In terms of my favorite, I wish I had the library open right now. I could look at like my stats. In terms of my most drafted rooms, I feel like, does it say here? No, it won't say here. I feel like it says like how often I've drafted it. Parlor I've drafted a lot, 20 times. Yeah. Oh, is it the whole? Oh, storeroom I did quite a bit, 17 times. Yeah. Spare room I must have done a lot, 21 times. Okay. The Nook I do almost every day. Yeah, that was almost every day. There was one day I didn't draft the Nook, but I mean, like, that's to get keys, because keys and gems are definitely great to have in this one. I will say, I just with the gems and keys, just because of the fact that it's just a roguelike, it's like there were so many times where, I oh, like I thought like, that I'd be good, and like I had a great setup. Interesting. We got some new rooms here. And I thought I had a great setup, and it's just like I didn't really, you know what I mean? I just kind of like was unfortunately this is so funny. This is so funny. And then I just like not having enough keys and gems like really screwed me up. So I really just didn't love that. Um a lot of my favorite puzzles were Swingbird, nice. A lot of the puzzles that were my favorites were the ones that spanned multiple rooms and that made me think about all the different rooms. Those were generally my favorite ones there. But there were also like room specific ones. The music sheet one, I almost forgot about that. That was one of my favorites to figure out. And I figured that out on my own. That was great to figure all that out. But there's so many I still haven't done. I did one of the treasure maps. Like there's so much. Notes upon notes upon notes. There's so much. There's some kind of puzzle in the chapel that I haven't done yet. I did a puzzle there, but it's like there's so much. That's the thing about this game. As I wrap up here, this game is like masterfully crafted. It really is. Like I gotta give it to Dogubomb and Raw Fury, who knows how to publish a game. To Richie Blocks, let's go! Coming soon. They did say in an update it's gonna be playable. Console edition, I love it. A permanent addition to Walk-in Closet. Oh, permanent. So these are all permanent additions, and I'm guessing they're just. Oh, it just looks nice. Interesting. Oh, that's actually kind of sick though. You've proven your merit as a scout by obtaining the A trophy. Interesting. That's a lot of coins. Cool. This is a cool room. But yeah, like this game is masterfully crafted, and I think I probably would have preferred it if it was just a pure adventure game. But then you completely break the system of the game, right? So it's tough. I don't know. It's like I think about it in my mind. I'm like, would it? Like I think it's weird. I don't know. It's just a personal preference where I'm not a big fan of the roguelike elements and how they're presented, because I feel like for me it detracts from the puzzles. Like almost the puzzles and the roguelike elements feel like conflicting gameplay to me. And that's kind of like what hinders my experience a little bit. Especially because, you're writing everything down. If you don't write everything down, you're screwed in this game. Like you need to, or take screenshots, whatever is easier for you. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't, if you kind of take the time to you know, do all that, and it's like you could get a valuable experience out of this. And I think it's a really good game. It's just for me personally, I didn't love the roguelike elements, and I think that detracted from my game experience just a little bit. It's I don't know. In summary of this review, we're gonna call this a summary point because I brought up the other part now. Um, you know, I definitely I enjoyed my time with this game. It is a really well made game, and I would definitely recommend it. Just be wary of the roguelike elements. If you're a fan of puzzles, there's a lot of great puzzles in this game. Um, Ones that will take you a while to figure out, and with proper notes and research, you will be able to figure out. Um, just be wary of the roguelike elements, is all I'm going to say. As someone who can be 50-50 on roguelike elements in games, like, it definitely, I felt like the roguelike elements in this game, not every time, but a lot of times detracted from my experience trying to solve the puzzles. That's my biggest complaint with the game, and there should be a way to save big runs if there's no way currently, and I just missed it. But overall, like, listen, this is a beautiful game. This is really well made. I can see why people love this game, and I really enjoyed it, but there were a few things holding it back from mainly with those roguelike elements from being like an amazing game that I loved. But really good experience, really fun if you're into this sort of game. If you're a Myst fan, I feel like this is almost like a guarantee. Just like I said, keep in mind that RNG does play a big factor in this game, but if the cards line up for you and you get the right stuff, there's some really cool stuff to explore in this one. So with that, that is going to do it for this review video. So thank you so much for watching. If you did, let me know in the comments below. Please keep it spoiler free. Like I said, if you've played this game, do not want to spoil anybody on specific puzzles and stuff like that in this game, but let me know what your overall general non-spoiler thoughts were, or if you haven't played it, you're just looking at it from a distance, what do you think? You know, what are your thoughts overall? Are you going to check it out? Are you not? Let me know. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next video or live stream, and until then, keep on gaming, get those detective hats ready and those magnifying glasses ready. See you on the other side.